Hello. Welcome to the second part of my exclusive tower guide. At the beginning of this part we see that a really big hand hits the ground. A big explosion happens. Everyone dodges the attack. There is a really big hand mark on the ground. Hoyoung has a really angry look on his face. He thinks, this is literally a disaster. One of the other players says, is this real? We barely passed the first floor. How are we supposed to fight that? A girl says, help me. I don't want to die. Hoyoung thinks, this is bad. Everyone's fallen into panic. A big monster is about to punch again. The punch goes toward Jinho. Hanyoung picks him up, saves him. He is really surprised to see him. Hoyoung says, the second floor's mission hasn't even started yet. What on earth is it doing? Rabbit is also acting scared. Hoyoung thinks of Rabbit saying, and last for every 30 minutes that there is no kill, everyone will be immediately summoned to the lobby and will face a huge disaster. He thinks, could it be putting on a show to get us to be serious about the mission? Then that means that this is just a taste of how things will be. It's not trying to actually harm us. Another attack hits behind him, and 3 of the other players go flying. He is really surprised. Junsong uses a bow and arrow to attack. Xiaong throws a rock at it. Their attacks have no effect on the monster. Junsong says, nothing's happening no matter how many times I fire arrows at it. Hoyoung is really angry and thinks, damn it, this isn't just for show? Is it really trying to kill us? Yiziel is healing everyone, and she has 3 MP left. She says, Hoyoung, I don't have any more mana. No one's died so far, but that won't be the case for long. A punch is coming toward them. Jinho says, it's coming again. Hoyoung says, everyone, stand back. He thinks, this is no time to be concerned about what others think. Jinho says, Hoyoung, you have to get away. Hoyoung is ready to fight. He thinks, if I can't stop it, then everyone will die. With the synergy between the indomitable sword and the stab, he uses basic swordsmanship. He thinks, maybe, it might have some effect. It blows up the hand of a big monster. Everyone is really surprised to see his power. He himself is really confused about what just happened. Everyone starts to cheer for him. Hoyoung is looking at his sword and thinks, is this that strong? It's definitely different from anything I've experienced so far. System says, you'll be in an exhausted state for 3 minutes because you have used strength beyond your limits. He thinks, what? He falls unconscious. After a while, he wakes up. System says, your exhausted state has been lifted. Everyone has surrounded him. Junsong asks, are you awake now? Jinho says, I'm really touched. I can't believe you behaved so humbly despite being so strong. Even the fainting ceremony you performed at the last moment was perfect. Hoyoung gets up and says, what on earth happened? What happened to the huge disaster? Jinho says, oh, that. Rabbit says, it was sent back. This time round was just meant for you guys to get a taste of things. Hoyoung is really surprised and thinks, it really was that. Rabbit asks, but I guess it wasn't very exciting, huh? Everyone's being too friendly with each other despite having almost just died. The fact that a kill must happen every 30 minutes means that the people standing next to you might be the ones who kill you. Everyone is really surprised. Rabbit leaves through a portal and says, all right, I've passed on the message. I'll now take my leave. Hoyoung is really angry and thinks, to think it'd be so obvious about its intentions. Is there nothing we can do about this? One of the players says, if we can't find the doppelgangers, then we'll need to kill each other, right? We need to find a way to deal with this quickly. Someone asks, how about putting a mark on each of us? Other replies to IT, said that the doppelgangers share our memories. What do we do then? Hoyoung says, everyone, I have something in mind. Yiziel asks, something in mind. Hoyoung says, during this mission, only I will do it. Everyone is really surprised to hear that. He says, all of you just do nothing and gather at the highest place on the 2nd floor. If there's anyone who does that other than me, then consider that person a doppelganger and work together to defeat it. Seching asks, that's your plan? A girl says, I get that you're pretty good despite being low-leveled. But why should we just obediently follow your plan? Hoyoung says, do you remember what Kumkum said just now? There's no reward for a player who kills a doppelganger. But if a player kills a player, he can obtain stat points and gold. Means that the people standing next to you might be the ones who kill you, while the instructions are asking us to fight the doppelgangers. What the tower really wants is for us to kill each other. I don't want to be played by the tower anymore. So, I think this is the best solution. She says, how is that the best? Junsong says, I agree. We could definitely reduce as much damage done to us as possible. But, Hoyoung to ask us to leave that role to you. Does that mean you have a way of differentiating who's a doppelganger? Hoyoung smiles and thinks, of course, I do. After that, system says, the second floor's mission is starting. Please kill at least one person within 30 minutes. Current number of members. Players 16. Doppelgangers 16. Xiang says, I can't believe he asked me to just gather at the top without doing anything. Although Hoyoung was the one who suggested it. Isn't this too reckless? Damn it, I really hate climbing up mountains. Xiang hears someone coming. He hides behind a tree. Hoyoung gets there and says, Xiang, you're such a big guy. Did you think I wouldn't see you behind a tree? Xiang comes out and says, what? It's just you, big bro? I thought you were a doppelganger. Hoyoung kills him. After that, we see a flashback where Hoyoung says, only I will do the killing. A guide window appears in front of Hoyoung saying, the first among the players to reach a certain stat level and sensitivity will receive the skill Impeccable Senses as a reward for being the first to attain that achievement. This skill will assist in identifying doppelgangers. Hoyoung thinks it's done. I actually got a little scared after saying that I'm confident of differentiating who's a doppelganger. Just then, this appeared at the perfect timing. But, just how many stats do I need to put into it? System says, you are the first to achieve a stat level of 50 in sensitivity. You've obtained Impeccable Senses. A skill window appears saying, Impeccable Senses. You 5 senses will be extremely developed. You will be able to obtain detailed information about a person as long as they're within a certain radius of you. He thinks, I finally got the skill after spending around half of the gold I have. It feels like my whole world has had an improved filter of senses applied onto it. This is great. With this, he hears something and says, this voice? He sees Xiang far away. He thinks, Kim Xiang? To think I can hear him talking so clearly despite being 500 meters away from him. Looks like Xiang has a lot to complain about. Huh? He smells something really bad and thinks, why is there suddenly such a bad stench? Xiang is a doppelganger. Hoyoung has killed one doppelganger. System says, a doppelganger has died. Please kill at least one person within 30 minutes. Hoyoung thinks, it acted like the real thing up until the moment it died. Anyways, now that I've confirmed my ability to differentiate doppelgangers, I hope the rest are following my instructions. Thanks to Junsong agreeing, it seemed like everyone had agreed to follow the plan. But there's not telling what could happen in real time. I hope nothing happens until they reach a high place on this map. System says, a player has died. Hoyoung is really surprised and thinks, what? A player has died already? Did the doppelgangers start to kill people? Or did a player do that? Xiang didn't create trouble, did he? Who on earth did that? There's no way for me to figure out what happened right now. Xiang starts to run. I need to find the killers as quickly as possible. Hoyoung climbs a tree. He thinks, damn it. While I killed another doppelganger, another player was also killed. Who the hell is the killer? He hears something. He sees the killer. Killer is Jinho's doppelganger. He thinks, found him, and runs toward him. Hoyoung kills him quickly in one strike. Hoyoung thinks, I did think that my doppelganger had a chance of being the killer, but it was different from what I had expected. In any case, I'm glad I killed it before it did more damage. May your soul rest in peace, Li Byung-chul. Hoyoung sees the body and realizes something. He thinks, wait a minute. Something strange here, isn't it? Go-Yang's weapon is a dull longsword. But this isn't a sword-inflicted wound. This kind of wound is caused by an arrow. Junsong is holding the bow and arrow. Hoyoung thinks, damn it, there's another culprit? Junsong asks, who's over there? Hoyoung thinks, that's a player? Was that arrow shot by his own doppelganger? Hoyoung says, Junsong, are you all right? Junxian says, Hoyoung? Please stop right there. Although I don't want to be suspicious of you, I have no way of telling who's a doppelganger, please maintain a safe distance between us. The one who was just killed is a doppelganger. Shouldn't this be enough to tell you who I am? Junsong puts down his bow and says, you really are Hoyoung. Be careful of my doppelganger. Junsong falls on the ground. Hoyoung runs toward him. Hoyoung helps him walk. Junsong says, sorry. If I hadn't let him escape, other people wouldn't have died. I've caused everyone trouble. When I think about another person who looks like me going around hurting people, it is so horrifying. Hoyoung says, it's not your fault. We're all victims of the tower. Just focus on escaping this tower alive. Jinho and Yiziel gets there. Junsong says, Juno and Yiziel? Yiziel says, you're both safe. I was worried because I heard that players had died. I was worried too. I can't believe 2 players have already died. Yiziel asks Junsong, are you hurt? I'll heal you. Hoyoung says, please get back. They're doppelgangers. Are you serious? They both start to act evil and runs toward them to attack. Jinho says, Hoyoung, I'm so saddened. Do you still have a grudge about what happened with the death mission? I thought you were a big-hearted person. Junsong says, I'll take the other doppelganger. Hoyoung thinks, wait, why are these doppelgangers appearing in front of me so daringly? Especially if one of them has the memories of Yiziel. She would know just how strong I am, wouldn't she? She appears behind him to attack him. Hoyoung says, what? Jinho attacks him from behind. He thinks, Yiziel's doppelganger? What about Junsong's doppelganger? Hoyoung dodges the attack. An arrow comes flying. Hoyoung gets a cut on his face. Junsong's doppelganger says, damn, what a pity. I thought I had gotten the checkmate. All 3 of them are working as a team. We see a flashback where Hoyoung kills a doppelganger. Junsong is hiding behind a tree. He brings out an arrow and says, bingo. He stabs himself with an arrow on the back. Junsong says, oops, I spoke in dialect without realizing it. Guess I got a little too excited. I have a question for you. What kind of emotions are you feeling right now? Betrayal? Futility? Or anger? Hoyoung smiles and says, I was wondering when you'd show your true colors. Looks like you're crazier than I thought. You're speaking as if you had known I'd backstab you. Hoyoung says, I can see the status windows of others. Your stats increased a lot. Huh? You murderer. They are surprised. Junsong says, you truly get more interested as time goes by. Did you receive the favor of the tower? I'm so jealous of that. Hoyoung says, enough with the small talk. Why are you doing this? Did you want gold and stats that badly? To the point that you'd kill others? Junsong says, do I need a reason? In this beautiful world, if I kill people, not only do I not get penalized, I get rewarded instead. How could I possibly not kill anyone? Junsong attacks him. Hoyoung thinks, I had wondered if he had a situation that made him do this. But I was wrong. He easily dodges the arrow and runs toward them. He thinks he had simply put on a mask and held himself back for a moment like this. This guy is just a murderous psychopath. Hoyoung easily dodges their attacks. He kicks Jinho in the back. Junsong attacks with an arrow. Hoyoung easily cuts the arrow. Hoyoung thinks, the same trick. A second arrow appears without a delay. Hoyoung dodges the arrow. Arrow made a hole in the tree. Hoyoung thinks, he hasn't shown all of his cards yet. The best close combatant and healer in this area. And a ranged attacker that's stronger than them. This is a combination that has no openings. I don't know how you convinced the doppelgangers, but it seems you prepared quite a bit. If I want to get a big catch, I have to do this much, don't you? I thought you'd go down much easier, but you're pretty tough. Well, that's better though, because I can't take my time to watch you struggle painfully until you die. He gets ready to attack and says, guys, what are you doing? Time to raise our nets. They all attack him at the same time. Hoyoung activates impeccable senses. He thinks, this is definitely an exceptionally well-balanced party. He sees all of their stats. He thinks, however, he easily cuts the arrows and attack Jinho. He thinks, in the face of overwhelming strength. Yiziel tries to heal Jinho. He thinks, a good team composition means nothing. He cuts Yiziel's hand and stabs her. Both doppelgangers died. Junsong is really surprised and scared. He starts to cry and says, please spare my life, Hoyoung. I got obsessed with the rewards and went crazy for a moment there. I got impatient after seeing how good you were and crossed a line I never should have. Please, just this once. Just this once. Go to hell for me. He attacked him with the arrow. Hoyoung kills him. Junsong thinks he wasn't just a slightly bigger catch, huh? The second part of my exclusive tower guide ends here. If you want to see more, please subscribe and like. And if you want to support me financially, you can join my channel membership or Patreon only for $1. Patreon and Discord links are in the description if you want to support me. And a special thanks to all my Patreons for supporting me. Thanks for watching.